morning. My name is Dante Warren, and I'm a part of the Community and Justice Services program. And today, the purpose of this presentation is to talk about my current field placement at Woodbine Middle School, the current challenges that I'm facing there, change proposals, which includes changes that will make the institution better, not only for myself and the staff members, as well as the students, and also the other student volunteers that plan to work at Woodbine in the future, and as well as my experience there. I'll also be talking about the benefits of these changes, how they will benefit the students, the school curriculum. I'll be talking about an implementation plan, ways that I decide to go on about proposing these changes, monitoring and evaluations, such as tracking progress. And then at the end of it, there'll be like a mini Q&A session, right? There'll be questions and answers to those questions, kind of digging into my perspective of things. And the reason why this topic is important is because these kids are at an important stage in their life, where they're in middle schools, transitioning into high school, especially the 8th graders. And I feel like it's important for them to learn some of these social justice concepts that I propose in my changes. So to get things started, I want to explain the problem statement and the rationale. So working at Woodbine Middle School has been a pleasure. I've been given the opportunity to work with all different types of students. I've been able to work with grade 6 students, grade 8 students, some of them with special needs. I've also been able to develop leadership skills, whether it's in the classroom or it's in a gym class, directing them how to play a sport, how to do a math equation. It's been a pleasure. Like being able to kind of like lead, be in that leadership role, and have them look up to someone. Another thing is my main role in that school is, again, just to be a helper, to help with their schoolwork, homework. Just make sure they're being respectful to each other and being respectful to their teachers and just being non-judgmental. With that being said, I face a few problems at Woodbine Middle School. The biggest problem I face is not using the opportunity to apply the knowledge I've learned in this program. So, for example, some of the courses that I actually enjoy taking so far in this program has been interpersonal skills, conflict management, and youth justice system. However, I feel like I haven't been able to apply it as much in this program because mainly what I'm doing is just math work or English work, which is also important, but it just doesn't really relate to the CGS critical path. So I feel like that's kind of been like a dilemma somehow. And I just feel like there isn't enough social justice practices. And then coming up, I'll explain the proposed changes, the implementation plan, and the reason why I think it will benefit the curriculum as a whole. So for my proposed changes, the first change is a list of activities that relate to conflict management, interpersonal skills, and youth justice system. Now first, I will do like a workshop. And with this workshop, the individuals included would be myself, the other staff members, and together we will use the knowledge we have gained from our courses, and we will kind of form a workshop as in like a learning experience for the students. Now, me being a community justice services major and other students being from child and youth care, others being social service work, I feel like we all have a common goal in mind. We all have taken interpersonal skills. We've all taken interpersonal skills. And some of us have taken conflict management, and some of us have taken the youth justice system. So I feel like we all kind of have something in common right there, and I feel like we can kind of build something off of there. So making a workshop, and then another idea would be building an assembly and having a guest speaker form like a TED Talk kind of. This speaker would be someone who specializes in the social justice field, Um, Maybe they could have been a former graduate of the CGS program, where they've taken conflict management, interpersonal skills in the youth justice system, and they can make like a slideshow presentation assembly and show them to the students to kind of keep them engaged. The benefits and expected outcomes of this proposal, it would benefit the students at Woodbine community because one of the benefits are interpersonal skills, and the reason why it's important is because as students graduate middle school and go to high school, they'll be expected, they'll have responsibility on their hands. When they get to high school, a lot of teachers won't babysit them or kind of hold their hands. They'll be more responsible for the action because as they're transitioning into adulthood, if they aren't aware of their actions, they can be charged, by law, right? Since they'll be juveniles, since they'll be at least over the age of 12, so they'll be charged as juveniles, and if they aren't careful of their actions, it can come back to haunt them, right? And it's a way of ruining their future career aspirations. So I just feel like it'd be important for them to learn interpersonal skills and be able to reason with people that they have conflict with. And it also ties into learning about conflict management, right? I feel like it's important for them to learn de-escalation techniques. Because if they're in a workplace or if they're going to college, university, they have to learn how to, again, reason with their colleagues and just be able to negotiate with them in a professional manner rather than just resort to violence, right? Because you shouldn't be able to resort to violence the first thing. It shouldn't be the first thing on your mind, right? Being able to sit down with someone and talk to them should be the biggest priority, right? So I feel like teaching them this in middle school will be important because once they get to high school, obviously they'll have support from teachers and friends, but they're going to be more alone in high school because teachers won't really hold their hands or babysit them, and they'll be a lot more responsible for the action in high school. So I just feel like it'd be important for them to learn this in middle school. So that'll be one of the biggest benefits.